reproduction of this content is not allowed without the express written consent of EBH Fitness LLC.
Good evening, good morning, good day, wherever you are. I'm Dr. Timothy Hoover, and I'm taking it to the house. Yes, do not adjust your TV sets. Do not adjust your device. I'm running solo, so I'm going to try not to run this off the rails. Dr. Victor Herbin, we're looking for you next episode, next time. Please do whatever you're doing. You got an excused absence. It's all good. So what are we going to talk about today? It's the middle of summer. The only thing that's hot and popping is baseball. But we're going to get to that in just a few minutes. What I want to first talk about is take a few minutes, talk about health, being healthy. So what is happening right now, what's current? The nation as a whole is suffering through heat stress, heat wave, wherever you may be. So I'm going to ask you to hydrate, please. And it's not just water. You need to replace the electrolytes that you're losing throughout your day, through the sleep. So it's the sports drinks, it's the sodium, it's enough sodium, not too much, of course, and it's the other electrolytes that you do need to be able to function so you don't go into dehydration. I'm going to ask you coaches, whether it's college, pro, or high school, youth league, maybe consider looking at the times that you're actually doing practice. I know they need a condition, and I know they need to get in shape, and I know they need to endure the heat. I know that. I went through that. But we're smarter now today. So maybe consider, please, taking a time where it's less heat, but please make sure that they're hydrating. Hydrating. I can't say it enough. How can you hydrate? Water. Again, we talk about Gatorade, but Pedialyte is another way. So you coaches, you parents, you sports participants, guys, girls, it doesn't matter. Please get your hydration in because it is hot and I don't see it going and getting better anytime soon. So avoid those heat cramps, avoid heat stroke, avoid heat exhaustion, okay? And look for those signs, not in just yourselves, but your teammates as well, but it can be avoided. The second health tip that I want to talk about, COVID, hasn't gone away. It's been with us about 3 years now. So the foolish thing about COVID is it's given us or laws have been passed to give us a false sense of security as though it's there, but it's not as bad. No, people are still dying. Okay. We don't want that to be you. I say still continue to look out for your neighbor. I would say still mask up. Yeah, you may be vaccinated. Yes, you may be double boosted. Look at our president and he's got COVID. It can run you down. It can run you to the hospital. It can affect your respiratory system. We talked about cardiomyopathy before, which is a diseased heart. It can lead to diseased heart or failure, heart failure, or problems with the heart, especially in our youth. Those things still apply. So I'm asking you, my fans, the fans of this show, to please be COVID conscious. I know fatigue has set in. It's set in for me, and it's real. We don't want to wear masks. We often don't even want to wash our hands or sanitize. We don't want to keep our social distance. And it's easy, especially around people that are familiar and we know that they have been boosted and are vaccinated. Yet COVID is still happening. It's still real and we're still losing people. So sports fans, we still want to be able to enjoy our sports. Let's remember just the few principles we had to bring COVID and the numbers down. And that is that sanitation, hand hygiene. Wear your mask, especially in buildings, arenas, your sports stadiums, when you're in crowds, on an airplane, on the train, in the subway. Please wear your mask. Social distance is hard. I know it. I get it. It's hard. And we want to get back to these and attend our sports in mass. But guys, we'll never beat this thing if we act like it doesn't exist. We need to acknowledge it's here and just be very conscientious of hand sanitization again, hand hygiene, and maybe keeping our distance. You guys in church, same thing. Let's not lose any more people. We can beat this thing. And so those who have suffered from COVID, you know the hardships that you endured, whether it's a week or months or several months, and some don't fully recover, still feeling fatigue and lethargic and hard to get that rhythm up. So I'm asking, just be conscious of the next person, your neighbor, your family, okay? So that we can get back to the sport that we once knew, where we can yell, shout, drink our beer, and be loud and merry, whatever the case may be. But now COVID is here. We have to act as though COVID is right beside us. Guess what? It just may be. You just can't see it. So let's be COVID conscious, try to beat fatigue, and slap it behind you. All right. That's your health tip for the few minutes.
All right, everyone. My name is Steve Howard. Thank you for tuning in. We are joined today by the newest retiree, Kim Johnson. Thank you for joining us here on the show, Kim.
I'm super happy to be here. Thanks.
Oh, I bet you are. So the premise of what we're doing here is to educate transitioning military soldiers, sailors, Marine, airmen on the process and kind of giving them some tools that they can use as they go through their transition out of the whatever service it is they're in.
So do I want to stay or do I want to go? And I was getting to that point of like I wanted to explore other options. So I started trying to figure out, what do I want to be when I grow up? What do I enjoy? And I think the best thing I came across, and it might have been a YouTube video or somewhere, it said try to figure out what you would like doing and you'd be okay doing it for free, but figure out how to get paid for it.
Yeah.
I know they would have my back, but it's like,
yeah.
I refuse to be an adult living with my parents. So it's just like, because I can't go. But so yeah, have a plan, give yourself time.
We're going to transition right now into baseball. Right, baseball is the only thing that's going, like I said earlier, and I want to talk about a couple of things that I got a chance to observe here more recently. I'm a huge Dodger fan. If you're a fan of this show, you know that. I'm from the West Coast. I love my Dodgers, and last night they were playing our arch rival, which is San Francisco Giants, and what a game! It was just exciting, just good baseball to watch. Dodgers go up 5-0. Braves come back, and it's 5-5. And then I said Braves, excuse me. Giants come back, and it's 5-5. And then the Giants take the lead. And I'm like, oh, wow, we're getting to the later innings. And our bullpen is not as good as it once was. I'm talking about the Dodgers bullpen. And they're starting to give up them draws, you know. It was starting to look ugly. And then just timely hits, in particular was Mookie Betts, you know, hit a 2-run blast late innings, you know, and then he makes a diving catch to end the game against our arch rivals. And so what was the big takeaway of that game? Well, our pitching is suffering right now. The Dodgers pitching is suffering, and the hitting is it's timely, but it's just not consistent. And yet we're still winning. What is the difference is we played stellar defense. Last night's game was a microcosm of the difference between the two teams, the Giants and the Dodgers, okay? And in defense in particular, the guys are not the Giants defense they don't know how to cut the ball off to prevent extra bases. They are not making the best play on the ball. You know, it's like they're losing track of the ball in the air. And the guy right fielder, I don't even know if they ruled it an error or not, but it was just a pop-up. It was twilight, and he lost the ball, you know. So they were just making error after error after error, or poor judgment in just how to play the ball defensively, where the Dodgers were just doing a pretty good job and just minimizing, you know, the base runners, just making them go station to station. Base runners, just making them go station to station. A home run you can't do anything about. That's just a home run. But station to station, the defense, and Cody and Mookie, wow, you guys are stellar out there. Sliding catches defensively. So you guys got to keep that up until we show our pitching, and then the bats kind of wake up. The other thing about baseball was the All-Star game that was this week, and so wow, okay, Stanton, man, okay, you mastered it, dude, and so I like you. You seem to be a real humble guy, but your strength, you're 6'1", 6'2", and you you don't even use your lower body as much. Everything's just upper body and arms, and so you're not the traditional home run hitter, where you just all in on the ball. But I tell you, your bat speed is amazing. And so you got MVP for the All-Star game this week, and deservedly so. Not a lot of excitement in the All-Star game, except for a couple of home runs. Pitching, it was like a duel. And you guys, the American League, you guys went ahead and pulled it off. So that was pretty cool. The other thing about baseball, I'm looking for the Astros and the Yankees to really. You guys played a doubleheader yesterday, and I believe the Astros swept the doubleheader. And so Astros are still doing their thing, even though they went through their black eye a couple of years ago, scandal, cheating. You haven't caught cheating recently, so did you need to cheat to begin with? And now look at it. Let's say you're not. You probably didn't need to cheat to begin with because you guys are that good. Changing of personnel, yes, but you're still on top of the American League and still need a force to be reckoned with. So Yankees, wow. Where are your flaws? I don't see it. Is it pitching? Is it hitting? Is it defense? I don't know. Maybe it's just speed on the base paths. I don't know. But I expect the Dodgers and the Yankees to represent their respective leagues in the World Series. I'm calling it. That's my shot. But it's not going to be easy because we're talking about a long season. We're only halfway there, and a lot can happen between now and the World Series. That's my. Well, you basketball fans, last time we talked about Kyrie. Wanted to trade. He wanted to go to the Lakers. We talked about KD, Brooklyn Nets players. Didn't want to honor their contract. Wanted to be traded. Well, they're still waiting to be traded. And I believe the Brooklyn Nets as an organization are playing a little bit of hardball. You're still under contract, KD. Because you want to leave, because you want to go, they don't have to let you go. Yeah, it's a bad look. It could be bad PR. It could be bad because he's under contract and he doesn't really want to be there. Or does he? What's going on? Rumor on the street is he wants to play with Kyrie, but just with another team. I think it's just bad brand for the NBA when these players, and we talked about it last time, player empowerment. When you can move when you want to move, go where you want to go. All of us want it. All of us want that autonomy with our careers. However, it just doesn't look good. So we'll see by next episode. Where's KD going? We don't know because he wanted to go to Phoenix and they just re-signed Ayton. Is he still tradable? I don't believe so. So he's under contract, and so he can't go to Phoenix. He wanted to go to Miami Heat. Well, that's still on the table. That's still available. Rumor out there. I'm hearing through the sports mill. A Kyrie KD package going to LA. What? Now, as a fan on paper, I'm kind of excited about that because KD is still considered the best in the league right now. And you can argue between him and Giannis with LeBron, with a healthy AD and Kyrie. So scores are out there. Speaking of LA, they're talking about a Buddy Hield package with Indiana Pacers, and so we don't know how it's going to pan out. What we do know is Westbrook was a failed experiment, and yet he's still on the roster. He's still on the team, but his name is being dangled with trades with multiple teams. So the NBA landscape, in particular, the Lakers, as we see them today, will not be the team that we see when the season starts. Other trades of significance. I'm here in Spur country, here in San Antonio, and they got rid of their best player, all-star, DeJounte Murray. Traded him to Atlanta. And so you pit him with Trae Young, and I think Atlanta is going to be formidable. So our former host here, Dr. Janelle Hoover, I know she's got to be happy about that. And I'd like to hear her opinion on that trade and them picking up DeJounte. But essentially, I want to call it tanking. It's professional tanking. When you get rid of your best player for future draft choices, draft picks, who are unproven. So what does that mean? It just means you're setting yourself up for the future. What, failure? And so you got money here, Peter Holt and the Holt family. You got money. So I say you need to go pay for and get you some proven players versus getting rid of them and trying to stack up these some chips, if you will. So let's see what happens here in Spurs. Spur fans are not happy. Yes, Tim Duncan is no longer walking through that door. David Robinson, Ginobili, Tony Parker, man, what a team that they had, and they got spoiled down here, making about 20 years of playoffs consecutively, 20 years consecutively. And so they got spoiled, and not to be able to even sniff the playoffs. Greg Popovich, you're still a bad boy. And as long as you're lacing them up, you're going to put a competitive team out there. It's because of you and the culture, and yet you're getting older. And so what happens in your passing, not and death is not what I'm talking about, but when you have to pass the torch, who's going to be your successor? Will he be able to keep it all together? Because he still put a competitive team out there. It just may not equate to wins, but they play hard. Unlike a lot of teams that are out there. What else in the NBA? Notable trades. Brooklyn, golly. And if KD and Kyrie decide to stay in Brooklyn, man, you guys got a pretty decent team. But oh my goodness, I'm just gonna leave you guys alone. John Wall going to the Clippers. They didn't need him, but it sure is nice that he is with the Clippers. And so maybe the best team in LA. Hate to say it, I'm a Laker fan. Maybe the best team with a healthy Kawhi, Paul George, and a team that was already playing hard for Ty Lue down there. Man. So I'm excited when the NBA season starts up again. I can't wait. But LeBron, you're probably, yes, you're in the 19th hole, using my golf analogy. But you still take care of your body. You need help. So Rob Pelinka, Laker organization, who are you going to surround him with? What's going to happen? I'm anxious to see, but in Rob, we trust. Welcome back. There's not a lot happening in the NFL, but I do want to talk about Who got the bag most recently? Kyler Murray. Man, deserve it or not, you got it. Yeah, man, you went to your what's the Instagram site, you scrubbed it, you took away all Cardinal memorabilia as though you were no longer associated to them. And yeah, you can put all that back on. You're a Cardinal for life. Listen, owners, when you have that quarterback, and trust me, they're hard to come by. When you have that quarterback, well, let's talk about what does that mean? Who is that quarterback? What is that quarterback? What are some of the qualities? Well, when your team improves, when you start getting to the playoffs, when you start putting more fans in the stands, jersey sales start going up, when your team becomes more marketable, and it's because of the quarterback, maybe he's that guy, maybe he needs to be rewarded. The Dak Prescott. You guys took long enough to reward him, Jerry Jones. Well, I forget who's the ownership for the Cardinals, but he deserves it. I say deserve. Who deserved $200+ million contract over X amount of years? Well, that's the market value. That's what he was paid, and somebody's willing to pay it. Go get the money. Kyler Murray, congratulations on the bag. Well, another quarterback, Lamar Jackson, still waiting to find out what you're going to do. And so, who's better? Who's best? The market says you should be getting over $200 million as well. So I'm eager to see. Your mom is representing you, and she's not an attorney. She's not a lawyer. She's not an agent, but she's serving to serve you. So let's see what the two of you can do. I actually think it's not a bad idea to kind of wait to see what the market dictates. You were MVP not too long ago. Kyler Murray wasn't an MVP. So I think you're setting yourself up for a healthy paydays. And let's see how that plays out here real soon. Training camp opens up. I believe it's in 2 weeks. And so NFL fans, your fantasy owners, start getting your teams ready, start doing your research, because it's just around the corner. Right now, like I said, I started out the show, it's a lull in most sports. But my co-host, Dr. Herbin, we talk about it. It's really a year-round business regardless of the sport you're in. Something is always happening. Year-round, AD. I'm talking about Anthony Davis, year-round. Don't wait just for training camp to get ready. Get ready. Get your body right year-round. You sports fans and sports you ball players, so that you can avoid those injuries. Not only that, too, for the youth athletes, the high school athletes, the college athletes. I mentioned the pros. Take care of your body. Invest in your body. We talked about hydration earlier. Please, cardio. Take care of your heart. Loosen up and stretch. We want you to be healthy. And as a nation, we need to be healthier. COVID is still here. And now monkeypox. God, dog. We can't get away. We can't get out of the way. But something is always up. Please see your doctor. Start your exercise if you haven't started. Be serious about it. Make it a part of your daily routine and stick to it. One exercise doesn't fit another. Like one diet, pair of shoes or clothes. Not everything applies to you. Find out what works for you. But find out what works, but stick to it, and you will love the results. Whether you want to gain weight or lose weight or inches. But please see your doctor. Consult with your doctor, especially if you have some compromised medical conditions. So I just want to say thank you for letting me just take a few minutes to talk sports with you. We still want to know what's going on with you and your sports nation and where you're at, whether it's hockey, golf. We didn't talk too much golf today. T. Weezy didn't make the cut last week. And so this is par for the course as he still continues to rehab. So whatever's going on in your world and your fandom, we want to know about it. Hit us up on our various platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter. And on behalf of Dr. Victor Herbin, and he'll be here next episode, give him a pass. Our producer next week is going to be taking his son off to college. And so we won't actually have a show next week. So bear with us until we get back. Okay. We just want you to be healthy. Please be safe. And the last thing that I do want to say is last week we had a family reunion, and to those who hosted, it's not easy. You did a hell of a job. To the Myers, to the Matthews and to the Brewers, excellent job. You guys set the bar really high for others who want to have that. So for you and you guys that are traveling throughout this nation, travel safe, be safe. Please enjoy your families. Have a great time. Alcohol and sugar drinks actually lead to dehydration, so limit those. Get more water into your system. And on behalf of Dr. Victor Herbin and Steve Howard, we bid you adieu until next episode.